Let us drift together into a world where the whispers of history are not loud, but gentle, like the rustle of soft wind through sacred temples. Here, the tales of ancient wars are not tales of fear, but reflections of the human spirit, of choices made and lessons quietly learned. In these hours, we will follow the gentle footprints of divine presence in times of struggle, where wrath and justice flowed side by side, like rivers under starlit skies. Let the stories carry you, soft as a lullaby, into understanding and calm. As your body sinks deeper into your bed, let the echoes of these ancient times wash over you. Each chapter will unfold slowly, revealing how divine guidance and celestial watchfulness shaped the hearts and actions of people long ago. If these whispers soothe your mind, feel free to subscribe, and perhaps share in the comments where you are listening from, as we travel softly through history together. Softly, the world settles into the quiet hour. The sun has dipped beneath distant hills, and the sky glows with the last traces of twilight, like a gentle sigh across the earth. You float above the warm sands of an ancient land, where temples rise slowly from the ground, their stones kissed by the soft wind. Candlelight flickers along their walls, tiny flames dancing like memories of a long-forgotten song. The air smells of warm earth and sweet incense, drifting slowly from hidden altars. Distant drums murmur through the valleys, a rhythm older than memory, steady and unhurried. The sound carries not a warning but a soft guide, leading the spirit to the heart of the world's quiet wisdom. Here, beneath the watchful eyes of the gods, life moves as a slow river, and each ripple carries the soft light of understanding. In the stillness, the first whisper of divine presence appears, not as anger, not as fear, but as a gentle flame flickering softly in the temples. It does not burn the skin, it warms the heart. It illuminates paths that have long been shadowed by confusion or doubt. The gods watch, and their gaze is steady, like the soft reflection of stars upon still water. In this quiet, the kingdoms of men stretch across hills and plains, each village and town pulsing with life. Traders return home with baskets of fruit, children laugh along the dusty roads, and priests move silently through the corridors of their temples. Every act, every choice, carries a shadow of guidance, a hint of the divine that is both gentle and firm. The gods' flames of judgment flicker like tiny lanterns, guiding the steps of those who wander, teaching softly without the need for loud decree. The flames speak in silence. They are not loud, but they move through the air like a soft wind brushing across your cheeks. They touch hearts like warm water over stones, reminding the spirit of balance, of the quiet order that flows beneath all action. In some places, the flames hover over the altars, illuminating carvings of ancient battles. The figures are frozen in stone, yet somehow alive, whispering lessons of courage, restraint, and compassion. Beyond the temples, the cities hum with life. You drift over markets where the scent of spices rises like smoke into the evening air. Soft laughter echoes, mingling with the distant call of night birds. The gods' flames touch these streets too, moving like gentle guardians, unseen yet ever present. They do not demand. They simply shine, reflecting on the choices of men, offering warmth to those who seek it, and quiet reflection to those who do not. In one temple, high upon a hill, a priest kneels beside a small altar. His hands rest lightly upon the smooth stone, and his eyes are closed as he listens. The flames curl around him like a gentle embrace. They illuminate the carvings on the walls, showing kings who once ruled with both wisdom and humility. They whisper of times when wrath appeared not as destruction, but as correction, a soft shaping of hearts toward harmony. Even as the night deepens, the flames remain patient. They do not rush. They do not burn quickly and fade. Instead, they glow steadily like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Rivers reflect their light in gentle ripples. Trees sway with the breeze, carrying the soft aroma of flowers and leaves. Every shadow is softened, every corner bathed in a gentle glow. In this hour, judgment is not a harsh wind. It is a quiet flame, teaching and guiding with infinite patience. The kingdoms themselves seem to breathe. You float over walls that once rang with the clash of swords, yet now lie still beneath the moonlight. Streets where armies marched are empty, yet the whispers remain. The god's presence is in each stone, each curve of a tower, each ripple along the riverbank. The flames of judgment hover gently, like stars reflected in a slow-moving stream, reminding all who watch that even in conflict, there is a thread of balance and understanding. In the soft glow, lessons emerge naturally. A king once proud and firm in his rule receives the quiet reflection of the flames. His hands, once heavy with command, are guided toward mercy and thoughtfulness. A merchant who once rushed to gain more than he needed feels the warmth brush against his heart, reminding him of fairness and compassion. Each life touched by the flames grows lighter, freer, more attuned to the rhythm of the world around them. The wind carries distant chants, rising and falling like waves. Monks move through quiet corridors, their robes brushing the stone floors with soft whispers. Their voices harmonize with the subtle rhythm of the flames, a gentle song of balance and care. Each note drifts through the temple, over the walls, and across the plains, touching every living being with a calm sense of presence. The god's judgment is here, yet it is soft, a tender hand rather than a sharp edge. You float down to the river that winds gently through the valley. Its waters reflect the candlelight from the temples, small points of gold twinkling like stars mirrored on the earth. The flames of judgment hover above, their glow mirrored in each ripple. You can feel the slow, peaceful pulse of divine presence as it moves with the water, teaching without words. Even in the quiet currents of the river, there is wisdom, a gentle shaping of hearts and minds. Night deepens further. Owls call softly from the trees, their voices blending with the distant drums and quiet chants. The temples glow like small islands of light in a sea of shadow. Here, the flames of judgment burn in silence, never loud, never demanding. They simply exist, a soft illumination of the way forward, a calm presence that touches both kings and children, priests and wanderers alike. Softly, the world seems to slow. Even the wind moves more gently through the branches, carrying the faint scent of blossoms and warm earth. You drift over hills where battles once raged. The echoes of swords and shields have faded, replaced by the soft touch of the flames, which teach forgiveness, balance, and harmony. In this moment, wrath has no harshness, only quiet purpose, like the gentle shaping of a river over stones, carving paths with infinite patience. In the temple on the hill, the priest rises slowly, his hands folded in quiet reflection. The flames lean closer, not as fire, but as light and warmth. They brush over his shoulders and hair, a reminder of the soft guidance that comes from the divine. Outside, the moon rises fully, silver light spilling across the stones. The river mirrors the glow, and the wind carries it across the plains, reaching every heart that is open to its touch. And now, as you drift above the world, you feel the quiet pulse of the flames all around you. They are everywhere and nowhere, soft, patient, gentle. Each flicker, each warm breath of light, is a reminder that guidance is always present, that divine judgment is not fearsome, but a calm shaping of the heart. The world sleeps beneath the quiet glow, and you float in perfect stillness, carried by the gentle currents of history and spirit. Let us drift onward through the night, leaving behind the soft whispers of temples and rivers. The stars return to their places, silent and watchful. The flames of judgment settle into their gentle glow, a constant reminder that balance and care are always near. Now rest, as the moon casts its silver light upon the world, and the soft winds carry your spirit into deep, peaceful sleep. The desert stretches beneath the soft light of a rising moon, gentle and endless. Sand dunes curve like slow waves, their shapes softened by quiet shadows. A calm wind moves through the dunes, carrying stories that have traveled for centuries. You drift above this world, floating softly, carried by the slow rhythm of the air. The wind is not harsh. It brushes like silk across your skin, warm and steady. Each gust seems to whisper names long forgotten, the quiet echo of warriors and priests, of towns that once thrived and faded into memory. The dunes themselves seem to breathe, shifting slightly with the flow of the breeze, holding the weight of history in gentle folds. In the distance, an oasis shimmers, the water reflecting starlight like tiny lanterns scattered across a smooth glass surface. Palms sway gently above, their leaves murmuring with the passing wind. Here, life persists even in the vast emptiness, small and sacred. The soft ripples of the water carry the hush of ancient conversations, of prayers offered under moonlit skies. You float closer, noticing figures moving slowly across the sand. Warriors, their footsteps steady and calm, pause to rest beside the oasis. Priests kneel at the water's edge, their robes brushing the sand, hands lifted toward the night sky. The wind curls around them like a soft cloak, carrying the faint scent of incense from hidden temples. Even in moments of preparation or reflection, there is a sense of quiet guidance, a presence that shapes actions without haste. The desert winds are patient teachers. They touch the edges of the dunes, lifting sand grains like tiny sparks in the moonlight, reminding all who listen that even in emptiness, there is movement, there is life, and there is understanding. Each whisper is a story, soft and slow, unfolding without urgency. Some speak of courage, others of restraint, and some simply murmur the eternal rhythms of the earth. A caravan moves quietly in the distance, camels' feet pressing gentle impressions into the sand. The riders are calm, their faces serene as they follow the guidance of the stars above. The wind carries their stories, flowing past the dunes and touching the small towns tucked into the valleys. Each person, each traveler, is part of the vast tapestry of the desert, woven together by gentle strands of divine presence. High above, stars twinkle steadily. Their light glimmers across the sands, mirrored in the slow-moving river of the oasis. These stars are quiet observers, witnesses to both small and great deeds. They shine with patient light, revealing paths that may otherwise remain hidden, guiding the spirit of those who move through the night. The desert wind seems to lift their light slightly, letting it brush softly over sand and stone alike. In one village, priests gather quietly, their voices a low hum blending with the sigh of the wind. They speak of distant lands where disputes arose, where hearts wavered between anger and calm. Yet even in conflict, the touch of the divine is gentle. It moves softly through every decision, every choice, shaping the course of life with the patience of stars and the stillness of the oasis. The warriors of these tales do not move quickly, nor do they strike suddenly. Their steps are measured, their swords resting lightly in their hands. The wind whispers along their paths, teaching restraint, patience, and understanding. Even when tension once filled the air like storm clouds, the desert wind carries only calm, softening the edges of memory, letting each heart feel the quiet hand of guidance. At twilight, the sky turns a deeper indigo, and the oasis glows like a small jewel in the desert's embrace. Night creatures stir gently, their calls blending into the wind's soft song. The flames of small lamps along the village streets sway gently, as if nodding to the rhythm of the desert itself. The wind touches each flame with a breath of calm, and the light bends softly, illuminating faces in quiet contemplation. You drift over the dunes once more, noticing the traces of travelers who have come and gone. Footprints curve gently along the sand, some leading to distant temples, others fading into the emptiness. The wind lifts these grains, carrying their stories onward. Warriors who once trained under harsh sun and moon, priests who whispered prayers through long nights, their lives are etched into the desert quietly, their lessons carried forward by the soft breath of the earth. Occasionally, the wind stirs more strongly, lifting sand into tiny spirals that shine in the moonlight. Each spiral is like a message, a note of caution, of care, or of hope. The desert does not rush, nor does it demand. It teaches softly, like a lullaby sung to the stars, reminding every traveler and every soul that guidance can be gentle, yet still firm and true. Far off temple atop a sandstone hill, a single lamp burns beside an altar. The priests inside move slowly, brushing the smooth stone with reverence. Their chants rise like smoke into the night, carried by the soft wind, mingling with distant rivers and the quiet murmurs of the dunes. The light from the lamp touches the carvings along the walls, illuminating figures of kings, sages, and guardians. The desert wind joins their quiet song, whispering of balance, patience, and the tender shaping of hearts. From above, the caravan continues, moving like a small ripple across the vast sand. The camels' soft breaths mingle with the wind, their steps leaving impressions that tell stories of journeys completed and yet to begin. Every life touched by these whispers learns slowly, learning that the divine is not harsh but steady, like the flow of the wind over the endless dunes. You notice a small child sitting by the edge of the oasis, eyes closed, listening to the gentle currents of air and water. The wind wraps softly around the child, carrying calm and warmth, a reflection of all that the desert has learned over centuries. In that moment, there is no haste, no worry, only the soft pulse of life moving in harmony with the unseen guidance around it. The stars above deepen in their watchfulness, and the moon rises higher, spilling silver light across every curve of sand. Shadows blend softly into one another, and the wind slows, wrapping the desert in quiet. You drift over temples, rivers, and caravans alike, feeling the gentle rhythm of history, the patient shaping of the spirit. Every whisper of the wind is a story of care, of restraint, of divine presence guiding without force. Night deepens further. The dunes lie still, the oasis glimmers faintly, and the small villages rest under the moon's silver gaze. The desert winds continue their quiet song, carrying echoes of warriors, priests, and travelers alike. Each whisper moves softly, reminding all who listen that even in vast emptiness, life is touched by gentle guidance, and every step is quietly seen. And now, as you float above the desert, the wind fades into a tender hush. The flames of lamps and candles in distant temples soften, the stars shimmer silently, and the moon watches with gentle patience. You feel the calm settle deep within, like warm water over smooth stones. Let us drift onward, carried by these soft winds, and now rest, as the stars return to their quiet places, and the desert sleeps beneath the gentle embrace of night. The night spreads softly across the land, a quiet velvet draping over hills and valleys. Stars shimmer faintly, each one like a tiny lantern suspended above the world, and the moon hangs low, casting silver light across the earth. You drift gently, above winding paths and quiet villages, and the soft glow of distant temples begins to draw your attention. These sacred spaces rise like whispers from the earth. Their stone walls are worn smooth by centuries of gentle winds and warm sunlight. Shadows gather quietly in corners, soft and unthreatening, while beams of light dance across altars and pillars. Each flicker of flame, each slant of sunlight, is a story waiting to unfold, a quiet reflection of divine presence. You float closer, feeling the cool stone beneath your imagined fingertips. The air smells faintly of incense and warm wood, a scent that reaches deep into the spirit, carrying calm and clarity. In this space, light and shadow do not oppose each other. They move together like a gentle dance, teaching that even in moments of hardship or unrest, there is a rhythm of understanding, a balance that nurtures growth. Within the largest temple, soft candlelight illuminates carved images of figures long past. Warriors stand side by side with priests, their expressions serene despite the battles hinted at in the stone. The flames move slowly across the carvings, creating tiny moving shadows that ripple along the walls like gentle waves. Each shadow is a memory, each flicker a lesson of patience and care. Soft winds whisper through open archways, carrying the distant sound of drums and the faint hum of chants. The echoes rise and fall like tides, guiding the spirit gently along corridors lined with carved pillars. Each pillar seems to hold a story, a quiet note of wisdom from those who came before. You float past them, feeling the calm pulse of history mingling with the present, a steady heartbeat of reflection. In one alcove, an altar holds a small flame glowing steadily. The light touches offerings of flowers, water, and simple carvings. Here, shadow falls softly along the stone floor, blending with the golden glow. The contrast is not harsh. It is gentle, a reminder that even when darkness exists, It can reveal beauty, guidance, and the quiet shaping of the heart. The temple seems alive with stillness. Footsteps echo lightly across the smooth stone, soft robes brushing the floor. Monks move without hurry, their voices rising and falling in low, harmonious chants. Each note carries through the air like a gentle wind, brushing past walls and pillars, touching hearts with calm, and reminding all who listen that even in struggle, peace can be found. Outside, the gardens are bathed in moonlight. Trees sway slowly in the soft night air, leaves whispering like old friends speaking secrets only the wind can carry. Small fountains ripple gently, their water catching the silver glow. Here, even shadows are tender, stretching across the soft grass and smooth stones in patterns that feel like guidance from the divine. In another chamber, light pours through high windows, striking mosaics that glitter like distant stars. Warriors kneel beside priests, their hands folded, faces lifted to the glow. Shadows fall behind them, long and soft, reminding that even in the presence of strength, humility and reflection are companions. The light does not judge. It simply reveals what is present, softly, patiently, allowing hearts to see the path ahead. You drift along a narrow corridor, noticing small details. Carved leaves along the edges of doors, faint traces of colored powder from offerings, tiny oil lamps nestled in alcoves. The light moves with you, stretching and bending, creating gentle contrasts with the shadowed walls. The temple teaches slowly, without hurry, that every choice, every action is seen and held within the embrace of divine care. In the central hall, a large statue glows under the soft light of lanterns. Its features are serene, neither harsh nor demanding, a reflection of balance. Around it, candles burn in steady rhythm, their small flames flickering as if breathing. Shadows bend gracefully around the statue, stretching along the floor and walls, reminding all who watch that even moments of divine wrath in distant times were tempered by patience and reflection. The temple doors are open to the night air. Outside, the soft wind carries the scent of jasmine and cedar. You float past the columns and steps, feeling the gentle pulse of the night around you. Each gust lifts the edge of a robe, brushes past a lantern, and carries a whisper of guidance. Even the shadows outside move with quiet purpose, forming shapes that teach calm observation and soft understanding. In smaller chambers, faint carvings of battles glimmer under the flickering candlelight. The figures seem to move ever so slightly, as if breathing in time with the soft wind. Warriors face each other, their eyes calm, their posture steady. Priests kneel nearby, their hands raised in gentle blessing. Here, wrath does not shout. It speaks in soft echoes, guiding hearts toward restraint, reflection, and growth. The temple is a place where night and day, shadow and light, strength and serenity coexist. You float past meditation chambers, observing monks tracing gentle patterns in the sand with their fingers, their movements slow, deliberate, and tender. Every line they draw, every curve of the pattern, is a lesson in balance, a soft reminder that even in times of challenge, calm can prevail. Outside the temple, the gardens stretch into the distance. A gentle stream winds through the stones, reflecting lantern light like tiny pools of stars. The wind carries the soft murmur of water, mingling with the distant drums and subtle chants. Each sound blends into a quiet harmony, a lullaby for the spirit that invites rest and reflection. In the upper halls, light pours through latticed windows, forming patterns of gold and shadow across stone floors. You float above these patterns, watching them shift and change as the flame of each candle flickers. The interplay of light and shadow teaches without words. It shows that even when history carries tales of wrath or conflict, there is always a presence that guides, that shapes, and that allows hearts to find calm. You drift through the highest chambers, where soft tapestries hang along the walls, brushing against the stone. Their colors are muted in the night, gentle reds and golds that glow faintly under lantern light. Shadows move slowly, following the contours of the room, blending with the soft beams. Here, the temple feels alive with the quiet rhythm of life, holding every whisper, every breath, every thought in calm balance. A final chamber opens to the sky. The temple's roof is low, and through the open beams you can see the stars clearly glittering above in patient silence. Lanterns flicker below, soft pools of light in the shadowed halls. The wind moves gently, lifting the scent of flowers, water, and warm stone. It carries a gentle reminder. Even in moments of wrath or uncertainty, there is always a soft light guiding the way, a quiet presence shaping the heart toward peace. And now, as you drift above the temple, the soft shadows and warm light embrace one another. The monk's chants fade slowly into the night. The lantern's flames flicker ever so gently, and the wind carries the quiet rhythm of the halls into the sleeping world. Let us drift onward through these sacred spaces, feeling the gentle balance of light and shadow, and now rest as the stars return to their places, watching with calm patience over the temples of the world. The night is deep and still. Soft moonlight glides across quiet valleys, brushing over hills and gentle streams. You drift slowly, carried by the hush of the evening, feeling the warmth of the earth beneath you and the cool kiss of air upon your face. Somewhere in the distance, a river moves softly, its waters glimmering like silver threads in the moonlight. This river flows through lands that have known both peace and struggle. Its course has been shaped by hands long gone, by hearts that once beat with courage, fear, hope, and devotion. It moves gently now, whispering memories of the past. Each ripple holds a story, a quiet lesson that touches the spirit like the soft brush of a feather. Along the banks, the grass sways slowly in the wind. Trees bow their branches over the water, leaves brushing the surface in soft patterns. The river murmurs beneath them, a lullaby that carries the echoes of battles and prayers alike. Here, the waters are not heavy with sorrow. They are warm with remembrance, teaching that every act of sacrifice leaves a quiet trace in the world. You drift closer, noticing small stone markers along the river's edge. They stand as quiet reminders of those who once crossed these lands. Warriors, their hands gentle despite the strength they carried, paused here. Priests knelt beside the water, offering soft chants that rose and fell like the rhythm of the river itself. Each presence left a trace, a ripple that flowed onward, blending with the slow current, shaping the land with care rather than fear. The river reflects the moon like a smooth mirror, and in its gentle glow you can see the stories unfold. Tiny fish glide beneath the surface, their movements delicate and free. Birds hover above, their wings barely touching the night air. The river carries all these beings in quiet balance, just as it carries the memory of human deeds. Nothing is lost. Every small act, every moment of courage or reflection is carried forward in the gentle flow. Along the banks, wildflowers bend toward the water, their colors soft in the silver light. Petals brush the surface with tiny ripples, joining the river in its endless song. You notice that even in places where conflict once arose, life continues in calm harmony. The river does not judge. It simply moves, carrying the lessons of the past with patience, offering quiet nourishment to the earth and the hearts that rest beside it. In the distance, a small village rests beside the river, its lanterns glowing faintly through the night. The villagers move quietly along stone paths, their steps soft and deliberate. Children lean close to the water, tracing ripples with their fingers. Elders sit near the banks, hands folded, watching the currents move slowly past. The river seems to pause for them, as if listening, holding each thought and feeling in its soft embrace. You drift past a bridge arched and ancient, its stones worn smooth by countless footsteps. Each step once carried a story, a quiet offering of bravery, mercy, or devotion. The river beneath continues without haste, reflecting the glow of the lanterns above. Here, even the echoes of conflict have softened, becoming gentle lessons for those who will come after. Every stone, every ripple, speaks softly of the balance between human action and divine guidance. Soft winds rise along the banks, carrying the faint scent of earth and flowers. The river hums beneath your gaze, a sound like soft breathing. Steady and calm, the water curves around rocks and reeds, bending without force, shaping itself slowly and patiently. This is the way of the river, and in its rhythm, you can feel the quiet shaping of hearts, the gentle guidance of a presence that moves through both life and history. You float further downstream, watching the river widen and deepen. Its waters now reflect the stars clearly, tiny pinpricks of light dancing across the surface. Each star is a memory, each flicker a quiet story carried from long ago. The river holds them all, guiding each reflection softly along its path. Here, there is no rush, no need for judgment. Only movement, only calm understanding flowing like water over stone. A priest kneels beside a shallow bend in the river. His hands brush the surface gently, tracing lines that vanish as the water carries them onward. The soft chant rises into the night, blending with the quiet lap of the river against its banks. The flames of small lanterns flicker nearby, their light mingling with moonlight and star reflections. Even shadows bend softly here, merging with the glow to create a space of perfect calm. Along the farther bank, warriors once paused before battle, their faces serene, their hands steady. Their presence lingers in the gentle bends of the river. Each footstep, each whispered prayer has softened over time, becoming part of the river's song. Now, the waters carry these echoes like a lullaby, reminding all who drift near that even acts of struggle and sacrifice are not lost, but become part of the eternal rhythm of the world. The river moves past quiet groves and open meadows. Animals drink softly from its edges. The wind lifts their fur, carries the scent of earth and bloom across the water, and the river flows on, steady and patient. Even the smallest pebble beneath the surface is shaped by the gentle current, just as hearts are shaped by quiet lessons and soft guidance. You float beside a deep pool, calm and reflective. Moonlight touches the surface in a thin ribbon of silver. Here, past conflicts are like smooth stones beneath the water, worn gentle by time. The river hums softly over them, carrying the memory of each act of bravery, each offering of compassion, each quiet moment of restraint. The current does not rush. It moves with quiet purpose, teaching that divine justice is often gentle, carrying lessons rather than punishment. At a bend in the river, soft reeds brush together in the wind. They murmur like the faint echoes of chants and prayers. Warriors and priests, kings and villagers, each has left a trace in these waters. The river gathers them together, blending them into a single, calm current. You drift above, feeling the subtle warmth of history, the gentle pulse of life, and the quiet presence of the divine that moves without force. Evening deepens further. The stars twinkle in the black sky, and the river reflects them like countless tiny lanterns. A lone lantern floats downstream, carried softly by the gentle current. It glimmers like a soul in quiet reflection, a reminder that even in vastness, each life leaves a mark, each act of devotion leaves a ripple. The river holds all of it tenderly, without haste, without judgment. You drift over the final stretch of the river for the night. Its waters widen into a calm lake, reflecting both moonlight and shadow. The soft wind brushes across your face, the gentle hum of water fills your ears, and the quiet rhythm of life surrounds you. Even distant drums from small villages reach your ears, blending seamlessly with the river's song, a lullaby for all who watch and drift nearby. And now, as you float above the river, the waters move slowly into stillness. Shadows bend gently, moonlight glows softly, and the trees along the bank sway in quiet rhythm. The river of sacred blood has carried its stories far, softening history into gentle reflection. Let us drift onward with its calm current, and now rest, as the stars return to their quiet places, and the night holds all in tender peace. The night air is cool and still as you drift slowly above the valleys. Moonlight stretches across the earth, brushing hilltops and rivers with soft silver. High above, the mountains rise quietly, their peaks hidden in mist and shadow. The wind moves gently across their slopes, carrying whispers that have traveled for centuries. These are not harsh winds. They are soft currents, filled with the echoes of voices long past. Leaders, prophets, and travelers have once stood upon these heights, their words lifted into the sky like petals on the breeze. Now they return in quiet murmurs, carrying lessons of patience, restraint, and the gentle guidance of the divine. You float closer to the tallest peak. Stones glimmer faintly under the moon, smoothed by time and wind. Here, the air is thinner, purer, and the quiet hum of history feels like a gentle heartbeat beneath your spirit. The soft rustle of grasses and shrubs along the mountain slopes joins the echoes, creating a symphony of calm that spreads across the valleys below. In the shadows of craggy cliffs, you notice small altars carved from stone. They are humble and simple, yet radiant in their presence. Priests and sages once knelt here, offering prayers that rose like smoke, curling through the air to meet the stars. The wind carries these echoes now, soft and unobtrusive, brushing against your mind like a feather, and letting you feel the quiet wisdom of ages. The mountains themselves seem alive with gentle breath. Mist drifts slowly through narrow valleys, softening edges of stone and shadow. From high above, streams sparkle like silver threads, winding through forests and meadows far below. These waters reflect moonlight and sky, carrying tiny ripples that seem to hum with the same gentle tune that echoes across the peaks. Along one ridge, a solitary figure stands. A leader of long ago, robes swaying softly in the wind, hands lifted toward the sky. The figure speaks without words, letting the mountain carry each thought into the distant valleys. You feel the resonance of these echoes, warnings, guidance, quiet counsel touching all who listen, soft and unobtrusive, teaching without force, showing without judgment. Small birds glide along the cliffs, their wings catching the moonlight. They carry the echoes further, soaring down the slopes, letting the whispers reach hidden groves, temples, and villages below. Even the smallest creatures join this gentle symphony, weaving the past into the present with subtle care. Each note, each sigh of wind, each rustle of leaves becomes part of a lullaby that cradles the spirit. You drift to a mountain stream, its water clear and still, reflecting the silver glow above. Stones beneath the surface are smooth, shaped by centuries of quiet flow. The stream carries tiny fragments of past journeys, prayers, thoughts, moments of courage, softly onward. Nothing is lost. Every word once spoken, every gesture once made, moves gently along, touching hearts in ways unseen but deeply felt. Along the path of the stream, you notice carved symbols in the stones. Prophets once marked these places, leaving subtle signs to guide travelers and leaders alike. Each symbol hums with calm energy, a reminder that even amidst challenges, guidance is always present. The wind lifts lightly, brushing across the stones and water, letting the echoes drift onward, soft and unobtrusive, like a lullaby whispered to the earth. From one peak, the view stretches endlessly. Valleys, forests, and distant rivers unfold beneath you, bathed in moonlight and shadow. You feel the weight of history, yet not as burden but as gentle presence. Leaders and prophets have left traces of wisdom here, soft and enduring, teaching that guidance often flows quietly, as a current beneath the surface, shaping hearts without noise or haste. A temple sits tucked into a sheltered ridge, candles glowing faintly within its halls. Shadows of pillars stretch across stone floors, moving slowly with the flicker of flame. Priests kneel, their voices rising and falling in soft chants, mingling with the wind outside. Each chant, each movement, carries the mountain's quiet echoes further, letting them reach beyond stone and stone walls, reaching the spirit of anyone who listens with calm attention. High clouds drift lazily across the moon, casting shifting shadows along the slopes. The wind lifts tiny flakes of snow from higher peaks, letting them drift down softly, settling on stones, branches, and rooftops below. Each flake seems to carry a fragment of memory, a quiet story from ages past, settling gently where it may, teaching that history flows quietly, shaping without forcing, guiding without demanding. You float past a hidden grove where wildflowers bend under the moonlight. Their petals brush one another softly as the wind passes, carrying whispers of ancient songs sung long ago. Warriors and sages, kings and villagers. Each left a gentle trace here, their footsteps soft upon the earth. The echoes of their deeds do not shout. They hum, like a gentle tune that wraps the heart in calm understanding. In the distance, distant drums beat softly, their sound carried up from the valleys. The rhythm is slow and steady, blending with the wind and mountain echoes. Each note rises and falls like the breath of the earth itself. The drums tell of journeys begun and completed, of choices made with care, and of the quiet shaping of destiny. The mountain listens, the wind carries, and the spirit floats among it all, cradled in gentle calm. Along a narrow path, stones glimmer with frost, reflecting moonlight in tiny sparks. Prophets once walked here, leaving subtle signs of guidance carved in the rock. You drift above, feeling the slow pulse of their wisdom. Shadows bend gently along the mountainsides, softening the edges of rock and ice. Even in the chill, there is warmth in the echo of guidance, a quiet touch of divine presence that moves through all things. From the highest peak, you look down on the valleys below. Streams and rivers wind like silver threads, forests stretch in dark waves, and small villages glow faintly with lantern light. The echoes from the mountaintops reach all of these places, soft and patient. They teach that even in times of uncertainty or struggle, guidance flows, carrying lessons of patience, courage, and reflection. The night grows deeper. Clouds drift slowly, stars glimmer softly, and the wind settles into gentle currents. The echoes fade into a quiet hum, like the slow, rhythmic beating of a heart. The mountain rests and you float above, carried by the soft pulse of history and spirit, feeling the calm presence of all who once walked here and all who will follow. And now, as you drift away from the mountaintops, the valleys below breathe in silence, the streams glimmer faintly, and the wind folds gently into the night. Let us drift onward, carried by the echoes of ages past, and now rest, as the stars return to their quiet places, watching with calm patience over the mountains and valleys of the world. Night stretches across the world like a soft, dark blanket, dotted with countless stars. The air is cool and quiet, carrying the faint scent of earth and blossoms. You float gently above quiet villages, forests, and hills, feeling the calm rhythm of night beneath your spirit. Each star twinkles softly, like tiny lanterns in a boundless sky, patiently watching over the world below. High above, the constellations move slowly across the heavens. Their shapes tell stories older than time itself. Warriors, prophets, kings, and sages appear in flickers of light, holding silent lessons in their steady glow. You drift closer, noticing how each star seems to hum softly, a lullaby for the soul, a gentle reminder that even in moments of wrath or conflict, guidance shines quietly above. Beneath the stars, the land is hushed. Rivers glimmer faintly in the moonlight, winding through forests and valleys like silver ribbons. Each ripple catches the glow of the stars, reflecting their light gently back to the sky. Here, the world feels safe, as if every whisper of wind, every swaying leaf, carries the wisdom of the heavens into the hearts of those who watch and listen. You notice a mountain rising high, its peak brushing the clouds. At its summit, a solitary temple glows faintly under starlight. The shadows of pillars stretch softly across stone floors, mingling with the gentle illumination from lanterns within. Priests and travelers alike have climbed these heights for centuries, leaving traces of devotion in stone, incense, and quiet chants. The stars seem to bow to these offerings, their light guiding every careful step along the mountain paths. A cool wind brushes past you, carrying distant echoes of drums and soft chants. These sounds ripple across the night, blending with the stillness, flowing into the valleys below. Each echo seems to resonate with the stars above, creating a gentle harmony that hums through the air. You feel this harmony wrap around you, like a soft cloak of calm, carrying the quiet assurance that lessons of wisdom can arise from even the most difficult moments. In the sky, Orion moves slowly across the horizon, his belt shining steadily. Nearby, the Pleiades cluster like a small gathering of kind faces, their light tender and constant. You drift past them, feeling the hum of their presence, sensing the stories of human choices, of leaders guided by subtle divine nudges, and of the gentle shaping of hearts over time. Each star is a witness, a silent guardian, holding the past without judgment and illuminating the present without haste. Beneath the constellations, the forest whispers softly, Leaves brush together, animals move quietly through shadowed paths, and streams shimmer faintly in silver moonlight. The world listens just as the stars do. Each sound, each motion is part of the vast, calm rhythm of life. Even in the memory of human conflict, there is no fear, only reflection, soft and steady, carried by the constellations overhead. A lone traveler climbs a hill beneath the stars. His steps are slow, deliberate, guided by the faint light above. He pauses at a stone altar, placing a small lantern and bowing his head. The light of the lantern mingles with starlight, creating gentle shadows that move across the hilltop. The stars shine brighter, as if acknowledging the offering, teaching silently that every act of reflection and devotion is recognized in the quiet expanses of the universe. Across the sky, Cassiopeia arcs gracefully, her 5 bright points sparkling with subtle radiance. Her story is one of lessons carried across generations. You float among these stars, noticing the way each one holds a memory, a gentle nudge, a lesson born from experience. Human wrath, when tempered with reflection, becomes guidance. Each constellation whispers this truth softly, carrying it down to the world below like silver threads of light. The wind rises gently, moving through open fields, carrying scents of wildflowers and fresh earth. Streams catch the starlight as they curve along valleys, and each ripple seems to hold a fragment of the constellations, quiet wisdom. You drift along these waters, feeling the pulse of life that flows between earth and sky, learning without words that even the most turbulent histories can settle into calm understanding. Above the horizon, the Milky Way stretches endlessly, a river of light in the sky. Each pinprick of brightness is a guardian, a gentle observer of all that has been and all that is yet to come. You float slowly along its path, imagining the soft lessons it carries, lessons of patience, restraint, and the quiet shaping of hearts. Even acts of wrath or conflict are woven gently into this tapestry, their energy transformed into guidance and reflection. In a quiet grove beneath the stars, leaves sway gently in the breeze. Owls glide silently through the branches, and small animals stir beneath soft shadows. The night feels alive with calm, as if every being participates in the silent conversation between earth and sky. You feel yourself merging with this rhythm, each breath slow and steady, each heartbeat in harmony with the gentle pulse of the universe. Along a mountain ridge, torches flicker softly beside ancient stone markers. Warriors once paused here, priests once knelt, leaving offerings that now glow faintly under the stars. The light from these torches dances in soft rhythm with starlight, creating patterns of shadow and illumination. You drift over them, sensing that every act of devotion, every step of courage, has been observed and quietly transformed into gentle guidance for all who follow. You notice the constellations shift slowly, a timeless procession across the sky. Orion, Cassiopeia, and the Pleiades move in perfect balance, each telling its story through faint glimmers of light. High above, the stars hum together, a lullaby of patience, wisdom, and quiet observation. The night itself seems to breathe, carrying these echoes down to the rivers, forests, and villages below, wrapping the world in calm understanding. A temple glows in a distant valley, its stone steps bathed in silver light. Monks chant softly, their voices rising and falling like waves, blending with the distant hum of the wind. You drift above, feeling the gentle connection between heaven and earth. Every chant, every candle, every ripple of the river is embraced by the guardian stars, whose light flows endlessly into the hearts of all who listen. The night deepens further. Clouds drift lazily across the moon, brushing the edges of mountains and trees. Streams shimmer faintly in the valleys, and the wind carries soft, echoing songs of devotion. You float among it all, carried by the constellations, feeling the gentle pulse of history, guidance, and reflection. Every act of wrath from long ago is softened by understanding, every conflict carried into wisdom, every heart touched by the steady light above. And now, as you drift slowly above the world, the stars hold their quiet vigil. Their soft light stretches across hills, rivers, and forests. The wind folds gently around you, carrying the calm rhythm of the night. Let us drift onward, guided by the guardian stars, and now rest, as the heavens keep their quiet watch, illuminating lessons that flow softly from the past into the gentle heart of the present. The evening is calm, and soft light filters through the tall windows of a grand temple. Moonlight touches the stone floors, creating long, gentle shadows that sway quietly with the flicker of lanterns. You float slowly along the wide halls, feeling the cool smoothness of polished stone beneath your gaze. The air carries the faint scent of incense, warm and grounding, moving softly around you. High above, the pillars rise like ancient trees, their tops lost in the gentle darkness. Each pillar holds stories in its silent strength, whispers of devotion from those who came before. The walls of the temple seem to breathe with the soft rhythm of past chants, each stone echoing a quiet presence. You drift further into the hall, carried by the warmth of history and the calm pulse of the sacred space. Monks and priests kneel in rows, their robes brushing the stone floor softly. Their voices rise and fall together in a slow, deliberate rhythm, forming chants that hum gently through the air. Each word is like a small lantern, illuminating a path within the heart. You feel the vibrations of the chants ripple through the temple, moving through the pillars, brushing against the walls, and floating across the high ceilings. The sound is steady, a slow current of breath and intention. It carries echoes of hope and caution, of guidance woven into every syllable. Here, within this sacred space, human struggle is met with calm reflection. Every chant touches the spirit, reminding it that even in moments of difficulty, there is a gentle presence guiding the path forward. Lanterns sway lightly in the corridors, their glow mingling with moonlight. Shadows stretch along the floors and walls, softening edges and creating a quiet rhythm of light and dark. The monks' hands move in subtle gestures, raising, folding, lowering, tiny waves of devotion mirrored in the quiet movement of the room. You float among them, feeling each gesture and breath as part of a slow, soothing current that carries lessons of patience and care. Through the arches, the faint echo of distant bells drifts in. They mingle with the chants, rising and falling in harmony, like waves brushing against a calm shore. You notice the quiet spaces between the sounds, each pause holding gentle weight, a moment for reflection. The temple seems alive with these soft intervals, teaching that stillness is as important as sound, and that guidance can flow through quiet as much as through words. In a far corner, a small fountain trickles water into a stone basin. Its soft murmur blends with the voices of the monks, creating a gentle counterpoint to the steady chants. The ripples move slowly across the basin, reflecting the candlelight in shimmering patterns. Each tiny wave mirrors the rhythm of devotion, reminding you that even small, quiet actions hold meaning in the tapestry of sacred life. The pillars rise above you, towering and silent witnesses. They have seen generations come and go, have felt the weight of prayers and the warmth of whispered hopes. The stone is smooth and firm, carrying the memory of countless hands resting upon it. You drift past them, sensing the quiet presence embedded in every surface, a reminder that patience and calm strength endure beyond the passage of time. A priest moves softly among the kneeling monks, adjusting the flow of their ritual. His hands trace the air in subtle patterns, his voice joining the others in a gentle harmony. The sound of his movements is like wind brushing through leaves, soft and deliberate, carrying guidance without urgency. You feel the rhythm of the chants deepen within you, a slow pulse that matches the natural ebb and flow of breath and heartbeat. From the high arches, moonlight pours in, touching faces and hands with silver warmth. The shadows bend gently around the room, flowing over steps and stone floors, creating a moving mosaic of light and dark. Each movement is slow, deliberate, a soft dance between illumination and shadow. The chants rise again, carrying with them the quiet strength of reflection and the gentle assurance of presence. Through the hallways, you notice carved reliefs along the walls. Figures of sages, guardians, and seekers are etched into stone, their expressions serene, their gestures calm. The light from candles and moon glimmers over the carvings, revealing tiny details, The tilt of a head, the curve of a hand, the gentle ripple of a robe. These silent images carry wisdom, whispering to the heart with the same soft rhythm as the chants themselves. Soft winds drift through the temple, carrying faint scents of flowers and the earth beyond. Each breeze moves carefully along the stone floors and pillars, brushing past robes and lanterns. It lifts tiny flickers of flame, setting shadows to dance lightly along the walls. The sounds of the world outside, distant streams, rustling leaves, quiet creatures, blend seamlessly with the rhythm inside. You float above it all, feeling the harmony between the inner temple and the vast night beyond. The monks' voices continue, slow and even, each syllable flowing like gentle water over stone. Every chant carries echoes of human intention and divine presence, weaving a tapestry of calm. The sound brushes against your mind like soft feathers, letting tension drift away, leaving only serenity and a quiet sense of purpose. In a quiet corner, a young acolyte kneels alone, hands folded, eyes lowered. His voice rises in soft cadence, joining the larger chorus without effort, without haste. You notice how each note, though small, contributes to the harmony of the whole. Every whisper, every breath, every gesture blends into the enduring song of the temple, carrying lessons of patience, guidance, and the gentle shaping of hearts. Lanterns flicker once more, casting a warm glow across the stone steps. Shadows stretch and bend with the movement of the flames, creating a living tapestry of calm and stillness. The sound of chanting continues, rising and falling like the slow tide, gentle as a lullaby. You drift closer, feeling the resonance deepen, as if the very air carries the careful imprint of devotion. Soft incense curls toward the ceiling, a delicate spiral of scent and warmth. It mingles with the murmurs and echoes, wrapping the room in a gentle embrace. The scent touches memory, invoking quiet reflections of courage, humility, and reverence. You drift along with the incense, following its slow path, letting your thoughts soften, letting the calm of the temple flow into your spirit. Through the arches, the moonlight shifts slowly across the stone floors. The shadows of pillars, monks, and lanterns move in quiet harmony. The chants continue, now softer, carrying the warmth of compassion and the quiet reminder of divine presence. You float among it all, feeling the rhythm of breath, voice, and movement as a lullaby for the spirit, a soft current guiding the heart toward rest. And now, as the night deepens, the voices of monks and priests fade gently into the quiet. The lanterns flicker their last, the incense settles, and the pillars stand silent and calm. Let us drift onward, carried by the gentle pulse of the temple, and now rest, as the stars return to their quiet places, watching over all beneath their steady light. The night is soft and still. Moonlight touches the surface of a gentle river, making it shimmer like a long ribbon of silver. You float quietly above the water, feeling its calm presence pull you into a world where time slows, and every ripple carries a story. The river winds through valleys and forests, carrying both memory and light, reflecting the choices of those who have walked its shores. Along its banks, trees bend gracefully toward the water, their leaves brushing lightly against the surface. The rustle of the branches is a quiet song, mingling with the faint murmur of the river. You drift along with it, noticing how every bend and turn carries echoes of decisions long ago, decisions that shaped lands, kingdoms, and hearts. Each ripple seems to whisper softly. Even in wrath, guidance flows. Warriors once stood along this river, their feet pressed into the soft earth, hearts heavy with duty and longing. Kings and prophets spoke beside its banks, their voices carried by the wind to distant hills. Yet, here in the quiet night, the river transforms those moments into something softer. Its gentle flow mirrors the journey of understanding, showing that even acts born of conflict hold seeds of wisdom when seen with patient eyes. The water moves slowly, folding over smooth stones and winding through reeds that sway in time with its current. Each bend of the river is like a choice in life, sometimes turning gently, sometimes sweeping sharply around a rock, always moving forward. You drift above it, feeling the calm pulse of the water as if it matches the rhythm of your own breath. Here, even the past flows gently, offering reflection rather than judgment. Moonlight glimmers on the waves, revealing tiny sparks where fish rise to the surface. The river hums softly, carrying the songs of the forests and fields, blending with the quiet chorus of distant insects. This gentle music flows into the mind like warm water, inviting reflection and a sense of ease. The river seems to hold a secret, that each decision, each act of wrath or patience, ultimately bends toward the calm, teaching hearts how to navigate life with care. Along the banks, stone markers and small shrines glimmer faintly in the silver light. Travelers of old left offerings here, prayers for guidance and mercy. The river reflects these tokens, mingling candlelight with moonlight, creating a delicate dance across the water. Each flicker of light seems to carry a whisper of divine presence, a gentle reminder that even in moments of struggle, there is support and quiet guidance. You drift past a small waterfall, where the water spills in soft sheets over polished stones. Its sound is steady, rhythmic, a lullaby that hums across the river and into the night. Each drop carries the memory of choices, of lessons learned and patience earned. The river sings softly of balance, showing that human hearts, even when filled with anger or fear, can find calm if guided by quiet wisdom. Further along, the river widens into a peaceful lake. The surface mirrors the stars above, each point of light a guardian, a witness to all that flows within the world. You float gently across this reflective surface, noticing how decisions ripple outward, touching faraway lands and lives. Even actions born from wrath eventually meet the stillness of understanding, carried like petals on the river's endless flow. Soft winds drift across the water, moving reeds and lifting petals from flowering trees. The air carries scents of earth and blossoms, mingling with the faint scent of moss and water. You feel yourself moving with the river, each breath syncing with the gentle rhythm of its current. It is a slow, meditative journey, teaching that the river does not rush, and neither need the heart. Along the shores, quiet figures appear in moonlit clearings, monks, travelers, and watchers. Some bend low to the river, placing small offerings of stones, flowers, or whispered prayers. Each action is delicate, careful, a gesture that echoes softly across the water. You notice how even the smallest, quiet choices can shape the path of the river's flow, just as every choice, gentle or firm, shapes the course of life. The river bends through a forest, filtering moonlight through leaves to scatter dancing patterns across the water. Birds drift silently overhead, their wings brushing the night air. Each movement feels measured and serene, part of a larger harmonious rhythm. You drift along, feeling the calm settle deeper into the mind, letting the river's flow carry away worries and tension. Each ripple seems to say, even the hardest choices can find gentle resolution. A lone traveler pauses on the bank, hands folded, gazing at the water. His breath rises in slow clouds in the cool night air, and he feels the pulse of the river beneath his feet. The water mirrors his reflection, calm and still, reminding him of the patience needed to see the lessons of the heart. You float above him, sensing the quiet strength that emerges when human effort meets the steady guidance of the world. Along the edges, lilies float softly on the water's surface. Their petals catch the faint glow of moonlight, each a tiny beacon of serenity. You drift among them, noticing how they bend gently to the flow, accepting the current without resistance. The river teaches in the same way, that even in turmoil, surrender to gentle guidance brings insight, and hearts grow stronger when they move with the current rather than against it. Further along, the river flows past hills dotted with stone markers of old battles. The earth seems to sigh quietly, as if carrying the weight of history without resentment. The water brushes these banks with soft ripples, whispering lessons of reflection, patience, and the quiet shaping of character. You drift above it, feeling the calm settle into every part of your being, knowing that even past conflict can be folded into understanding. Small fish move beneath the surface, tracing paths in delicate patterns that shimmer in the moonlight. The river seems alive with memory, each ripple a story, each movement a lesson. You float along these currents, feeling the subtle guidance that flows through every turn, every quiet bend. Even human wrath, when met with calm awareness, becomes a teacher, carrying wisdom along the gentle path of life. As night deepens, the river winds toward a distant horizon where mountains meet the sky. The stars above mirror the flow of water below, each one a quiet guardian of history and heart. You drift toward this meeting of earth and sky, feeling the full embrace of the river's wisdom. Every choice, every decision, every ripple of intention has been guided gently, transformed softly into understanding. And now, as you float above the water, the river carrying all that has passed, let your spirit settle in the calm it offers. The moon glimmers on the surface, the wind brushes softly through the trees, and the night listens patiently to the flow of life. Let us drift onward, carried by this river of choices, and now rest as the stars return to their quiet places, watching over all beneath their steady light. The night is hushed. Gentle light flickers across an ancient hall, where lanterns hang from tall beams and sway softly with the movement of air. Their glow is warm, amber, like a small sun cradled in the dark. You float quietly through the room, noticing the subtle shimmer of light on polished wood and stone, reflecting stories carried for centuries. Scrolls rest carefully on low tables, edges curling gently. The soft rustle of parchment seems to hum in the silence, as though holding whispers of lessons long past. Each lantern casts pools of light that touch the scrolls, revealing letters and symbols that speak softly to the spirit. You drift closer, drawn into the gentle rhythm of illumination and shadow. The walls are carved with scenes of old figures standing with quiet resolve, warriors moving with care, kings pausing in reflection. Moonlight from high windows mingles with the lantern glow, creating patterns that shift like water across the floor. Every image seems alive, breathing slowly, offering insights not with urgency, but with calm clarity. You notice how the lanterns flicker in delicate harmony with the shadows, each pulse like the heartbeat of the room. They illuminate paths of understanding, showing how choices in times of conflict ripple outward, touching hearts and lands. Wrath appears here not as terror, but as a soft light that guides toward right action, turning missteps into lessons of growth. The air is filled with the faint scent of wax and incense. You float among it, sensing the warmth rise softly, blending with the quiet stillness of the night. Each lantern casts gentle arcs of light across the carvings, bringing to life the small gestures of devotion, patience, and reflection that shape the past. You drift slowly, absorbing the rhythm of careful, deliberate attention. Along the hall, small alcoves hold stone figurines, their faces serene, eyes lowered in meditation. You feel the calm that radiates from them, a quiet assurance that even amid human conflict, wisdom endures. The lantern's glow touches the edges of each figure, highlighting gentle curves and the subtle sway of carved robes. Every detail seems meant to teach a single truth. Patience carries the heart safely through storms. A gentle breeze drifts through the open windows, moving lantern flames in soft dances. Shadows shift with the light, bending and stretching slowly across the floor. You float along with them, noticing how even flickering, changing forms can feel steady and grounding when seen with calm eyes. The hall seems alive with quiet intention, each movement and shimmer offering a soft path toward understanding. Scrolls unfurl before you as you drift past, revealing stories of warriors who paused before action, of leaders who chose reflection over impulse. The lanterns touch the letters with a warm glow, and the words seem to breathe, flowing like a soft river into the mind. Each tale, gentle and slow, carries guidance, that even moments of anger or fear can be transformed by careful thought and steady presence. Along the walls, carved pillars rise to the ceiling, their surfaces etched with scenes of reverence and care. Moonlight filters through high windows, brushing the tops of the pillars with silver light. The lanterns below reflect warm golden pools at their bases. You float between them, sensing the harmony of light and shadow, of past and present, each teaching a subtle rhythm of patience and insight. Soft footsteps echo in the distance, moving carefully along the stone floors. Monks drift among the lanterns, tending to their glow, adjusting wicks, ensuring each light burns steadily. Their movements are slow, deliberate, a choreography of care. You drift closer, feeling the rhythm of their actions blend with the flickering light, teaching that steady attention nurtures both space and spirit. In one corner, a scroll lies open, the story of a king whose decisions shape both lands and hearts. The lantern's glow dances across the letters, softening the edges of his struggles. You float over it, sensing the gentle lesson beneath the surface, that every act, even those born in challenge, carries opportunity for learning, for reflection, for growth. Wrath here is not fear, but illumination, lighting the path toward right action. The air is still, except for the soft rustle of scrolls and the occasional whisper of the breeze. You drift past small carvings of animals and guardians, their forms simple yet full of meaning. Lanterns touch their eyes and pause, their faces calm, reminding you that even in quiet observation, wisdom endures. Each shape, each line, each curve becomes a teacher of patience, reflection, and gentle awareness. Through the high windows, moonlight glimmers on the stone floor, mixing with the lantern glow to form patterns like rivers of light. You float above these flowing paths, noticing how light guides and reveals, while shadows hide and protect, creating a perfect balance. The temple hall feels timeless, a space where wrath and calm, lesson and reflection coexist gently, teaching the spirit without urgency. A soft incense smoke rises in curling trails, carrying warmth and earthiness through the hall. You drift alongside it, letting the scent move with your breath, letting the warmth fill the chest and heart. The lanterns flicker softly, echoing the rhythm of your own pulse, weaving lessons into each slow, careful breath. The room feels alive, yet peaceful, carrying guidance without weight, presence without demand. In the quiet center of the hall, a single large lantern glows steadily. Its light touches every corner, blending the soft amber of other lanterns into one gentle pool. You float into this light, feeling it envelop the spirit with warmth and clarity. Here, even the sharp edges of past conflict seem softened, illuminated with understanding. Wrath becomes gentle, transformed into insight, patience, and careful discernment. Small figures of monks kneel in the lantern light, their hands folded, voices rising in quiet chants. The soft sounds weave through the hall, blending with the flickering of light and the gentle movement of incense. You float among them, sensing the calm they carry, the presence of devotion in every breath. Each moment becomes a gentle reminder that care, attention, and wisdom guide even the heaviest of hearts. The lanterns sway lightly, sending shadows across walls and scrolls. Each flicker seems a soft word, a quiet message carrying the stories of centuries. You drift along their glow, letting the warmth fill the spirit and feeling the calm seep into every corner of thought. The room, the light, the quiet echoes of the past, it all moves together, a gentle lullaby for reflection and rest. And now, as you float in the soft warmth of lantern light, let your heart settle among the quiet stories and gentle glow. Every flicker, every scroll, every shadow carries a lesson of patience, understanding, and the gentle shaping of spirit. Let us drift onward, carried by these lanterns of ancient wisdom, and now rest as the stars return to their quiet places, watching over all beneath their steady light. The night stretches wide, soft and still. You float into a quiet space where shadows of the past rest gently along the earthen walls. Lanterns glow faintly in the distance, their amber light warming the quiet air. The world feels slower here, as though time itself has learned to breathe softly. Stone pathways wind gently beneath your feet, worn smooth by countless footsteps that moved without hurry. You drift along them, noticing the soft rustle of leaves in the wind, the distant echo of water lapping against a hidden riverbank. Every sound is a slow rhythm, a lullaby carried by the gentle movement of the world. Around you, the air is filled with the hushed stories of centuries. The walls, carved and polished, hold the faint outlines of battles, ceremonies, and quiet reflections. You float past them, feeling the calm that comes when time has softened even the sharpest edges of conflict. Here, the anger of the past has melted into lessons, and each shadowed corner holds a gentle memory rather than fear. The moon peeks through high windows, casting silver pools across the stone floors. The light touches soft curves of statues and altars, revealing the care in every carved line. The glow mingles with the lanterns, creating a tapestry of warm and cool, shadow and light. You drift slowly through it, feeling the hush settle into your bones, your breath lengthening, matching the soft pulse of the space. Here, divine presence is quiet. It moves gently through the room, like a breeze through long grasses, like the faint hum of a bell carried over still water. Wrath is no longer sharp, no longer urgent. It rests among the tailies of human endeavor, guiding without pressure, reminding without alarm. You sense the subtle shaping of hearts and minds, soft as sunlight on stone. Along the walls, small alcoves hold scrolls and carvings. You drift past them, reading the soft curves of letters and figures. They tell of kings who paused before action, of warriors who listened to the whisper of conscience, of priests who knelt in patience and care. Each story blends into the next, forming a river of reflection that flows calmly through time. The scent of incense drifts slowly, curling in the warm air like soft smoke from a hearth. It mingles with the cool night breeze, creating a balance that feels like the meeting of two rivers, gentle and unhurried. You breathe in the fragrance, feeling it settle into the chest, releasing tension, inviting calm. In the center of a quiet courtyard, a small fountain murmurs softly. Water moves over stones worn smooth by centuries of gentle flow. You float above it, noticing the rhythm, the soft rise and fall, the endless cycle of motion and rest. The fountain carries the same lesson the lanterns and scrolls have shared. All things pass, and in that passing, wisdom and understanding deepen quietly. Around you, the shadows of ancient walls stretch long and soft. They cradle the quiet lessons of history, moments of wrath softened by reflection, of conflict transformed by patience, of fear shaped into care. You drift among these shadows, letting their gentle presence fill the spirit. Each step becomes slower, lighter, as though the weight of the past has been absorbed by the calm of this space. Soft candlelight flickers along the edges of alcoves. Each flame bends and sways with the faintest breath of air, sending dancing light across the walls. You float along with it, letting the rhythm of shadow and illumination lull the mind. The past is present, yet not pressing. It hums quietly, like a lullaby sung to the stars. The carvings along the stone pillars tell of quiet courage, of those who acted with thoughtfulness, who tempered strength with understanding. The lanterns and moonlight touch each figure softly, showing every line with gentle clarity. You drift past, sensing the balance between action and reflection, between wrath and wisdom, between effort and surrender. A gentle wind moves through the open windows, carrying the sound of distant water and the rustle of trees. You float among it, letting the softness wash over your shoulders, over your heart, over your thoughts. The world outside is calm, the night deep and steady. Every whisper of wind becomes a soft word of reassurance. Time heals, time teaches, time holds all in its quiet embrace. Along the hall, soft footsteps echo. Monks drift past in measured rhythm, their hands folded, their voices murmuring in gentle chants. The sound blends with the flicker of lanterns and the distant murmur of water, creating a symphony of calm. You float beside it, letting each step, each breath, each gentle note carry you deeper into peace. The stories of wrath and human endeavor rest now, folded into the soft shadows. Battles once fierce are now quiet rivers, flowing toward understanding. Decisions once urgent have softened into lessons that ripple gently through time. You drift among them, feeling the weight lift from the spirit, leaving only calm awareness and gentle reflection. The courtyard stretches open, moonlight and lanterns mingling in the soft grass. You float among the flowers and fountains, noticing the slow sway of petals, the gentle ripple of water. Everything moves with careful grace without rush or need. The world, the past, the divine presence, it all rests here, softly, quietly, patiently. Every shadow carries memory, every light carries guidance. You float among them, letting their rhythm guide the spirit toward deep, untroubled rest. Wrath has become lesson, fear has become understanding, effort has become gentle presence. Each breath grows slower, each heartbeat blends with the soft rhythm of night. In the final hush of the hall, lanterns dim slightly, blending with the silver of moonlight. You drift through this quiet, letting the soft glow cradle the spirit. Here, time itself seems to sigh, settling all that has passed into gentle repose. You feel the calm stretch from the top of the head to the tips of the toes, a quiet completion of journey and story alike. And now, as the night deepens, let your spirit rest among the shadows of history and the gentle light of understanding. Let every soft flicker, every whisper of wind, every ripple of water carry you further into peace. Let us drift onward into the quiet folds of time, and now rest, as the stars return to their gentle watch, guiding the world into calm, deep sleep.